Hi, I'm attorney Rilus Dana. In this video, I'll be discussing estate planning for real estate investors and entrepreneurs. I'll be discussing ways to take titles of real estate and also how your trust and your estate plan should work with business entities like corporations and LLCs. So let's get into it. All right, this is where I practice law in Arizona and California at Dana and Associates. So if you need any help, you can reach out to me there. Let's start with real property title options. So you buy a piece of real estate, you buy a house, you can take title in your name individually. Now, if you're married and you buy a property, especially in Arizona and California in community property states, you need to specify whether you're taking title as your sole and separate property or if it's community property. Now, by default, everything that you acquire during the marriage is community property in states like California and Arizona. Now, if you take title with other owners, the default is tenants in common. So if there's multiple owners on a deed and it doesn't specify, then it's going to be tenants in common, which means there's no rights of survivorship. So if someone passes away, their share transfers to their estate. So if they have a last will and testament that says where their estate goes, that will be controlling. If they don't have a will, the default order applies. So no rights of survivorship means someone passes away, their share goes down to their estate, and a probate's probably going to be required to transfer that interest. All right, if there's multiple owners, you can take title as joint tenants with rights of survivorship. The title clearly has to state that. It has to clearly say with rights of survivorship. And what that means is if one of the owners passes away, that the other remaining owners on title now own the property. So this scenario, there was 4 owners listed on the title. One passes away. Rights of survivorship means the remaining 3 are now the owners. Nothing goes to the deceased person's estate. You can also take title in a trust. Now, a trust is a good way to avoid probate and to protect your family. I have lots of videos on these channels about that. Now, if you take title in the name of a trust, in Arizona, you have to disclose on the deed who the beneficiaries of the trust are. So even if you give your trust a stealthy name, because you're the beneficiary of the trust, you're still going to have to disclose on the deed, which gets recorded and becomes a public record, that you're a beneficiary of that trust. Let's talk about limited liability companies. So LLCs are recommended as a way to hold rental real estate because if there's a liability, all your assets are at risk. So someone gets hurt on the property and they sue the owner, and you're the owner individually, and you also own other properties individually, they're all at risk. So the way an LLC works is you transfer title of the property to the LLC, and if there's a liability, so someone gets hurt on that property and they sue the owner, if the owner is the LLC, then only the assets inside that LLC are at risk. So that's a good way to hold rental real estate. Now, in Arizona and most states, you have to disclose the name and address of the members of the LLC. So if you take title of a house in the name of an LLC, you have to disclose who the owners are. So here's a way to remain anonymous. Here's a way that you can acquire assets without having your name and information on the public record. So with the privacy trust, what it does, the person that creates it and manages it, the beneficiary is actually going to be your revocable trust. So the purpose of the privacy trust is so you can remain anonymous and hold real estate. So you can create an LLC, and you can give the LLC a stealth name. Don't put your name in the LLC. And then the owner of the LLC is going to be this trust. And then you're going to use the address service of our law firm or lawyer or There's a lot of companies that create entities. They'll also serve. You can hire them or you can pay them to use their address. So this is how you remain anonymous. This is how you remain stealthy. So real estate investors, entrepreneurs, your estate plan should look something like this. So if you want to remain anonymous, you need a privacy trust as well as your regular revocable trust. Your revocable trust can hold all the businesses that you have, all the LLCs, corporation, partnership interests, if you own notes, all of those things should be owned by your revocable trust. Now, the main point of the revocable trust is to avoid probate, to transfer things to your spouse if you're married, or to your kids, or to wherever you want it to go, and when and how you want it to get there. Now, by adding this privacy trust on top of there, this provides a way that you can accumulate assets where it's not readily searchable on the public record, so people don't know what you have. So if you already have LLCs and business interests, then what you need to do is you need to assign those into your trust. You can do that by amending the LLC, changing the member, which is the owner of an LLC, changing the member to your trust. That can either be your revocable trust or your privacy trust. Now, if you already have a rental property and an LLC, then your name's already on the record. It's already on the public record associated with that LLC. So what some investors will do, they'll just keep those things as is, and then they'll create a privacy trust for new purchases. So that way there's no record of their name with this LLC. They're not connected to it. I also have some investors that will decide to go ahead and transfer their existing LLCs into the privacy trust. So those first LLCs may be kind of tainted, where someone could go backwards and see that they used to be owned by you, but it will look like they were sold or transferred to another LLC. So I hope you found this helpful. If you need any help in Arizona or California with your estate plan, you can reach out to us. We'd be happy to help you. Thank you.